Hey folks, it's Cynthia. I'm here to talk to you today about the Major Arcana key number 11 in the tarot. Key number 11 is usually titled the Justice card. And while this card does indicate when it comes up in readings, the symbolism and everything like that speaks to law, legal matters, contracts, things of that nature. That could be court cases or settlements, somebody in law enforcement, or somebody who studies the law, uses the law like a lawyer or judge. It talks a lot about those types of things and the major transformations that we can go through when those things come up in our lives. On a deeper level, on a little bit more of a spiritual, personal level, it's the vibration of our karma. It could be karmic contracts, it could be soul contracts, it can be the ties and the patterns that we have that might repeat themselves either in our thoughts or our actions, in our relationships, the things that we can kind of get stuck on. If we go even deeper to a way more esoteric kind of spiritual meaning, there's a lot here that represents that justice is our vibration. We've heard this a lot in a lot of different ways. In paganism, they have the law of three, right? So whatever energy you put out comes back to you threefold. There's other ripple effect type of vibrational natural law out there that would talk about, well, it's not just the golden rule, do unto others as you would have done to you, right? But even the spiritualists say, you make your own happiness or unhappiness. If you look at law of attraction and things of that nature, they're talking about how you are putting out a vibration and the world around you then reflects that vibration back to you. And it's not so much a judgment of good or bad or whether something is moral or not. It has a lot more to do with knowing yourself. When you see reflected in your relationships, in your environment, in your situations or your circumstances, when you see certain things in your experience, they're a reflection of what's going on internally. Even the I Ching has a passage that's called Sung, conflict. I believe it's passage number 6. And the version that I often read is by Brian Brown Walker. And in his version, his translation, the main theme that he suggests is that all conflict is, in the end, internal conflict. So whether you are seeing conflict and having the experience of witnessing it going on, or whether you are in conflict with a situation, a circumstance, a person, and that could be a legal matter, or it could be a snub, a slight. All of those conflicts are a reflection of some kind of an internal conflict. And by conflict, it doesn't necessarily have to be an aggressive, opposing forces. It can be the tension created by our thoughts and our beliefs. If we have limiting beliefs, but we have values that are way more expansive, then that limiting belief, right, has to give way so that the true value that we hold can actually grow and work in our lives. Instead of holding us back, it spurs us forward into expansion. So with the Justice card in the tarot and the Major Arcana, it's got all of these different layers, like most of the tarot cards, especially those in the Major Arcana, because they're highlighting these major shifts of consciousness and energy in our lives, right? The key for key 11 and the Justice card is recognizing that it has to do with present moment awareness. In one of my other tarot decks, it's actually labeled the web. And if we look at it as the web of life, right? If you're sitting at your point on the web and you're connected to all these things in the world around you, every vibration you send out ripples out into that web. And everything is truly connected. So if there's a vibration on another part of the web, it's going to come back to you. In another deck, it's labeled the Justice card, but it pictures someone sitting in front of a tree, and on one side of them is a young baby, and on the other side of them is an older person. And what you have is that person, that past and present, or the past and future, coming together in this present moment. And so it is you as an individual, your present moment awareness, that can resolve past conflict, past issues, past karma, can let it go by recognizing this power in this present moment. And when you release the future, then you're untangling yourself from repeating the past in a cycle. And so what you have is this ability to be present moment. This is where your power is. This is your ability to move forward. What does this mean on, a more practical level? What if you are signing a contract? What if you are making an agreement? What if you are in relationship to someone else? Or what if there is something that is due you, that you are trying to advocate for your rights, right? In this instance, you look at it and say, your present moment is your power. It's not what you've got riding on this that counts for your future, and it's not what brought you to that point. You don't want to create your future based on conflict, because you're just going to be cycling yourself through conflict. You don't want to make an agreement that you can't keep. Like in Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 Agreements, he talks about that very much coincides with you. It's not about, making or breaking promises. It's about when you enter into an interaction with something around you, you're responsible for yourself, and you're the only one who's responsible for yourself. Having that recognition and that awareness and that level of self-mastery is what will move you forward. That's what will resolve an issue. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. Allow yourself to expand. Let go of limiting and false beliefs. Let go of the past. Open up to the solution being a part of your future, and your future being able to grow forward in a new direction. So when we enter into relationship with people, or when conflicts arise between us or in our circumstances, we need to kind of take a deep breath and take a step back and recognize present moment awareness. And the Justice card is really speaking to that level of kind of being attuned to your own emotional, personal responsibility. And that's what allows you to find answers to questions. That's what allows you to find resolutions and solve problems and get what it is that you need from the resources around you. And I think it's important to situate it. Key number 10, we saw the wheel and that potential for being stuck in cycles, or that potential for change and moving through cycles, right? And if you look forward at key number 12, which is typically the Hanged Man, In one deck I have, it's called Sacrifice. In another deck, I've seen it just referred to as the Suspended Person. You have that ability to stop and handle emotions and take a moment of reflection to move forward. So when key 11 comes up, it's that step between the two where there's that recognition of present moment, personal responsibility, making yourself aware of, wait a minute, if I want the best possible outcome for this situation, I need to stop and take a breath, and then take your step into key number 12, which is that moment of reflection, stabilizing yourself, letting go of certain things, and opening up to moving forward or what's the next step, rather than perpetuating conflicts. If we stay in the mind frame where we're pulling between what we want for the future and what we're familiar with from the past, and we're having this conflict, we're just going to end up, when we move forward, we're just going to end up repeating it. And we're going to put that broken record on recycle. So when you're working with the tarot, whether it's for divination or whether it's for personal development, recognizing that at this point in the consciousness development, you're really taking a closer look at how are you relating to things, what's the vibe that you're putting out. There's a balance factor here. The numerology on it is really interesting, but that would take this video far into another subject, which I will likely be saving for a tarot course. Although I do believe there might be a blog post on our website at casadegabridgetswell.com, and the blog is Scrying the Well. It's up there in the menu. And if you look through the categories and go to the tarot section, you will probably find, because I did some, or even numerology, because I did some on the tarot and numerology and number 11. So feel free to check that out. I should have some links in the description box. Until next time, thank you. Enjoy the Major Arcana Tarot series, and we'll see you on the flip side.